that way 50% of the job is done because by which of being in that industry. That's one thing. But second thing is that as long as we even we had this problem of attrition and all that stuff, but as long as you, let me make one radical statement here that people are not equal, right? In the sense we try to treat everyone equal, then things will not work. Maybe excuse me if I'm offending anyone here, but the people aspirations are equal. People as dignity is equal. So as long as you treat them very well and you challenge them enough and probably explain their intrinsic value. This is where you are standing today, and from now to next 2 years, this is where you should be going. And if you assess that journey, I think it works very well, and in fact, it's working very nicely. So I think this is one experience I want to share with
you. All our business leaders accept the fact that getting fresh talent in the college is good for the organization overall. Even in cost perspective, it tries to helps us bring the cost down. But when it comes to absorbing the talent, everybody would say, oh, it will take 3 months for this person to become productive. I don't have 3 months. I need somebody who can hit the ground running. So over the years, what we have been able to do is we have identified about 12 colleges that we partner with, and we call them our partner institutions. And we give our software free of cost to the labs. And we also identify our architects, our senior engineers, our principal engineers to go and conduct classes in those colleges. So now the talent that we are hiring from those colleges is already ready on C technologies.
Great idea.
So when they come into our campus, now we have leaders fighting to onboard them instead of pushing them out. So this has worked very well for us. It has happened over the last 5 years, but we have now identified partner institutions, and we've got people who lead our, we call it the university program. They lead the university program. We sometimes sponsor technical conferences. There's a live feed about CA technologies that goes into these colleges. So when we when we go general awareness with a new product, that feed goes into the college. Whatever our quarterly results are, so we do extensive marketing also in these colleges about what company we are. So now we have it from both the sides, where the students want to come and join us, and when they join us, the business leaders want to onboard. So this relationship has worked very well for us.
Right. So tell me, Anand, when you do this, so is there a module which you create?
See, typically our technology to test on.
Oh, okay.
So we make our technology a part of the labs.
Okay. Got it.
So see, that was the whole thing. People say they have got a theoretical knowledge, they don't have the practical knowledge.
Right.
We are enabling them the practical knowledge now.
It's great.
Maybe not on that scale. So like I said, we hire fresh engineers. They have to, do programming and all of that. But we are not an IT organization; it's a market research organization. Also, okay, our hiring patterns are very sporadic. So it's not like I can plan such that I'm hiring at the time that people are passing out. So it doesn't work that way. Although we have tried, but it really doesn't work that way. So suddenly I may need a batch of 30 people or 50 people or something like that. So we've tried different methods, and we used to try directly going to campuses, or we used to go through consultants, which is ridiculous. For entry-level hiring, no one goes to consultants, but we did do it because cost was not a factor. We just had to get quality people. But then what has really worked in the past 1 year, what has really worked for us is we changed the approach. We started partnering up with training institutes. What we realized is that almost every engineering graduate, does not rely only on his 4-year degree, Predominantly, I think at least 80 or 90% of them will go to training institutes, and you have tons of training institutes in the city. They will go there and they will try to get upskilled or train on the latest technologies that the IT companies or the software companies are looking for. So we approached these training institutes and we told them that our requirement is very different. This is the kind of skill set or knowledge, or this is what we're looking for. We gave them the entire all the details. We gave them the dummy tests and what we would test them on and everything. They then started doing the sourcing for us. They sourced people, they conducted their tests, and then we went and did the session about the organization, the work, and what we do in its setting, and then went through the selection process, and our hit rate has been much, much better, and the quality of the candidates also, the operations team has been really static in terms of the quality of the candidates that we're going through. So this approach is really
great.
Database, etc. And I said it's not happening. So gaming is something different. So it was like, no, so tell me, I can help you out. And I told him that I want a PS3 program. He was like, what is this? So when it comes to gaming, it's very new to our country. Game development, not gaming. We've been playing Marios and Contras for the last 20 years, but game development is very new. As I told, I handle three different categories of people who are engineers, whose again needs and aspirations different from artists, and then again a tester. So initially it was a very big challenge because there was nobody, because game development is not taught in our country. So it was a big challenge. We started looking into the neighboring industries like for doing graphics, and then artists we started looking into people who are into animation, movie making. So something similar we did. We tied up with institute like Haptic, Arena, CAS, DSK, and we have our own customized module with them. So we train these guys beforehand, and then we put them on an internship for 6 months, and then they are ready. And during this internship, they are working on live games, and then we hire them. So it has worked out very well for us. But still, there is a huge, scarcity of the talent when it comes to gaming on all the three. So that's my thanks.
The spirit is same, the challenge is the same.
The same problem of having a gap in terms of the skill sets, what is required for a pharmaceutical company. And I wish I borrow something what Sakar mentioned and what Rekha has mentioned and what you mentioned about going to the training institutes and hiring it. But I think in order to create a similar structure, the kind of a huge machineries that we have to run in a pharmaceutical company and the most expensive kind of equipment that we have to operate, most of the B pharmacies or BScs or bachelors in sciences and all of that, they would have read about it, but they never touched any kind of machine. And when they have to come into the organization, they have to actually operate it. And it has a serious implication on the quality of the final product as well, with so much of stringent regulations that pharmaceutical industry is governed with. And we are really having this as a kind of an internal problem right now, Granules India, where how do we really calibrate that they not only know the theory from the textbooks, but they can be put on the shop floor in front of the machine and they are capable of operating it confidently. Give them a few millions worth of machines independently and leave them overnight to work and come back in the morning and then ensure that the machine is safe and the person is safe. And more importantly, the product is safe to use. Finally, the product is safe to use because ultimately it's going to get into the human consumption. Right now, I think we have a serious problem like the IT industry where I think we can upload a software and then teach them in their colleges. For us to really recreate a manufacturing, a simulated environment in the colleges. In fact, we did talk to a few colleges, pharmaceutical colleges, and they said no. In fact, our faculty members also may not be fully aware of this. So it has to be done only by our internal people. So this is something which we are really grappling with, and now we are almost getting tempted saying, should we create a small scale manufacturing simulated facility within, which is going to be very expensive though, but maybe you have to put them through that training and then certify them, whatever. So some of those challenges is something that we have been grappling with at a fresher entry level. The other one that I also have to say the same thing is the technology has changed so dramatically. There's a need that we are currently experiencing of recalibrating the experienced managers. If I have to hire from a pharmaceutical industry, it's not just the pharmaceutical industry. No one has handled the kind of volumes that we are talking about. Anyone that we interview, they say, oh my God, you're going to run in billions of tablets, is it? I never handled this kind of recalibration. Whether existing people are fully capable of handling this kind of a growth, etc., is also something they need to recalibrate. So when you talk about assessments, now the current thinking is that how do we really test that our existing people are good enough for these increased volumes? At the same time, how do we have a fresh talent pipeline coming from the colleges who are somewhat oriented towards handling some of these machineries that we have to use? So right now, this is the kind of a huge challenge. We are yet to find the solution, but we are grappling with this.
Okay, I think I can just share some in a different industry. It may not be a pharma industry.
So I don't know if you know this group called PSG Group, PSG College of Technology. PSG College used to run a program which used to be called as a sandwich program. So if you go to the campus, actually there is a full-fledged manufacturing unit within the campus. People actually work half a day in the manufacturing unit and half a day they do their program. So it was a sandwich program, and if you get a diploma in 3 years, these people would take 4 years to get a diploma. But when guys who come out actually are ready employed because they do have hands-on experience. So I think one way to solve the problem is to look at partner with the institute. You probably invest in setting up the plant, and they invest in the education piece. I think that's the only way to do it.
I think
Yeah.
the current thinking seems to be that in those lines.
Yeah, it has been tried and it's working.
Wonderful.
Yeah, if you want, you can actually
Sure,
help
I'll
you get
take that reference.
Yeah.
I have a couple of.
Yeah. So I would like to share an interesting experience, especially we've been talking about scarcity of talent, right? Sometimes problem of plenty also exists. You have too many people, and this is the situation we are in our operations in Sri Lanka. If you take Sri Lanka, for example, IT industry is not so mature. We are number one IT company in Sri Lanka. We are the TCS of Sri Lanka. so we hire about 500 graduates from campus, which is a big number. So the problem there was to get high caliber talent, right? I mean, people who are trainable, who come into the company and we are able to provide them training, and they actually they become productive in 6 weeks or 8 weeks or whatever. So that is the problem they had, and actually they did use Harrison assessments very successfully in identifying people who have the capacity to become programmers, right? So it was done, and we have had a good success with that program, in fact, and we use it quite in large numbers there. So not necessarily scarcity of talent causes a problem. Sometimes even if there's more number of people available, that is also an issue.
Yeah. Let me share my. Then every time, every recruitment drive, you come and ask me how many have identified and given offers. 1% of the total lot. Then I ask them, is 1% that means there is no talent available in our state or outside the state? They said yes, they are not. Then what I did was, I had a meeting with all the line managers who go for the recruitment. And then I asked him, what is that you are looking for when you hire? This guy is looking at the candidate about what is he expecting the day one, the output. See, for a financial services company like S&P, Capital IQ, there are a lot of things are there to do. Then give me a spreadsheet the moment you go to next time. Tell me how many are eligible to be trained, how many of them can be employable after 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, and 6 months. Give me that chart. And it was amazing, it went up 4%.
Wow.
So that means the way the line managers look at hiring is mindset. They go with a particular mindset. We need to, the HR folks, we need to sit with them and talk to them. So my HR division tried the level best. Since I am the MD of the company, they could listen to me. They said, hey, now you give me this chart. Then I spoke to my director, who are all in charge of each division. Then I told them, the way you are looking at assessing people, you need to have paradigm shift. So that's exactly what I told them. And as on today, it is working. Now, we have gone one step ahead. And we told them, okay, 6 months, 3 months is fine. Then you still have one more batch where you take them as interns and try them for 3 months as an intern. Then if you qualifies in your internal test, then only come out. So that also will. Otherwise, where is the talent? There is only a pool of talent. You can't go to Pakistan to go higher. Right? So that's my experience.
And what is the ground reality? Is that the disconnect is so much in your experience?
So we'll do the Q&A maybe after this, maybe after that maybe.
The need to test the software. The testers are walking out with a mindset that I'll have to get into the IT industry, so let me pick up a software testing job and then move on to programming. So I think that's one challenge that we grapple with, because you need a larger mindset to break a well-written code. First of all, to see if the code is well written. So that's, if you go to the institutes, let's say we try to with the institutes, they they send the students with a tool mindset. Okay, you either learn a Borderland tool or a Microsoft tool, so you align with one of those vendors. The other way is the guys look at it as a platform to enter the IT industry. So what we are trying to explore is we are leveraging the advantage of we are still exploring. We're trying to talk to a couple of advanced institutes in Hyderabad like IIIT, where we're trying to foster a sense of advanced approach to software testing, more from a mathematical model, where it actually takes over a much larger landscape as against conventional software programming. And number two is we're trying to extend the mobility in the enterprise applications from a cloud angle, where we're trying to also cultivate interest among potential folks to explore and test it out and get the kick out of it, so they make a career in software testing. So that's something that we're exploring, and we're very reasonably confident that it's going to make a difference. I'm sure Ramana would agree with this.
Mr. Murthy, can we hear something?
And we need only 2 days training to give it to them, and then they are good. But how do we get there? It's not going to put the schools and other way around. We need to get the people from villages around. But they never worked. The moment they did not work this type of thing, they only worked as maid and all.